Yes, it's What a Boast, a celebration of Reeves and Mortimer. Please welcome your hosts for this podcast, MJ Price and Paula Wiseman. Hello and welcome to Quite a Boast, a podcast dedicated to the work and genius of Vic Reeves and Bob Mortimer. My name is Matt Price, founder of the Reeves and Mortimer Depository of Curious Stuff Facebook group.
And I am Paula Wiseman, founder and creator of the Divine Comedians podcast.
Today we are joined by not one, not two, but three guests, three musicians to be precise. Between them, they have played alongside the great and the good of the music scene, not least of all, the man with a stick, Tinker's Rucksack, and Morrissey the Consumer Monkey, during their stint in the big night out house band, the Vic Reeves Orchestra. But do they still remember punk rock as if it was only yesterday? Please enter the Novelty Island paddock, Sean Lyons, Kevin Powell, and Morris Windsor.
Hey.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
I think the best way to start it, if get you to introduce yourselves individually and just say what instrument you played in the band, just so everyone can find out who sounds like what, with all the voices.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah, go on, Morris.
Well, I'm Morris Windsor. I played drums in the band. At the time, I was in a band called Robyn Hitchcock and the Egyptians, and that's how I got into it. But drummer. Yeah, you can't see me, but I was going to wear a riding helmet, but I couldn't find it.
Okay, yours go next, Sean.
Okay, so I play guitar, and that's what I was doing during all the shows. Yes, I was playing the guitar. That's what I was doing. What else? I mean, that's you don't need anything else really. But yeah.
And Kevin.
Yep, this is me. There it is. Look.
Oh, Kevin is holding up his big night out jockey's riding top there. Wow.
Yep. I'm a sad chap. Yes, I play bass guitar.
The only guy we're missing, of course, is Andy Metcalf, as the fourth member of the band who couldn't join us today. But it's great to have you three here. So let's, before Big Night Out, briefly, because I know you've all had long careers, and Morris has already mentioned, obviously, he was in Robyn Hitchcock and the Egyptians, and previously played with Robyn in the Soft Boys as well, as did Andy in first album, Morris, am I right in saying?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
So just what were you all doing before the Big Night Out?
Well, exactly. I was playing with Robyn Hitchcock and the Egyptians.
yeah. That was your
stupid question, Matt.
Your 1980s.
Thing being that Andy, who was bass player in the Egyptians and in the Soft Boys, he was the keyboard player in the first series, and he somehow wangled himself into becoming MD for the second series, and basically recruited people that he wanted.
He could blame.
He wanted, yeah.
He could blame when it all went wrong. Yeah.
So apologies to the band in the first series. Yeah.
Sean, you played with Robyn Hitchcock as well.
I went on after the shows. I can't remember quite where I met Andy, but got the call. And then after the show, I joined Robyn Hitchcock and the Egyptians relatively briefly, and even briefer time with the Soft Boys. And then after that, me and Morris were in a band together for quite a while, called the Gliders. And but before that, what was I doing? Well, at the time, I think I might have been joyfully unemployed. It's more than likely. But I think what I've been doing. Oh, I know. Well, I was a house producer for Atlantic Records, and so I was going around scouting talent and producing new bands and things. Yeah.
About yourself, Kevin?
Well, I've known Sean a long time, and we used to do a lot of sessions for Philip Pope, very famous composer. Yes, the Heebie-Jeebies and Spitting Image and the Fast Show, all that sort of thing.
Yeah, classic.
And in the 80s, I suppose, is when I managed to get a lot of my recording career done and live work. And I ended up going around the world with people like Alison Moyet, Midge Ure, Chris Rea, and Cockney Rebel. I was a member of that for 10 years, Cockney Rebel.
Wow.
So, and lots of TV stuff with Steve Brown as well, who sadly passed away. So,
sorry, I think you dropped a few names there, Kev.
I did.
Quite impressive CV.
No one anybody would have heard of.
Oh my God.
Over a certain age, you mean?
He broadcast to millennials or what?
Well, you know, people of a certain age.
As you say, talking about the Soft Boys, you can see a sort of connection between what Vic Reeves was doing and what Robyn was doing. That's very English sort of surrealism. A bit. Look at the cover of Underwater Moonlight. That could be Vic and Bob characters with those masks on. The sort of thing they would do. You can see it. It's very English and very left of centre, shall we say? Yeah.
I think Robyn came to one of the shows.
Did he? Oh, blimey!
Yeah, yeah. There is. Yeah, I mean they're very different. I mean, Jim is they're both Jim and Bob are Geordies, or I don't know whether you're allowed to call them Geordies or not.
Not technically on it, but yeah.
But you know
what you mean.
Robyn's home county's middle class, so they're different characters, but yeah, arriving at the same sort of point.
So we did mention there were previous musicians, and we'll just name them. I don't know, because there was, when Vic Reeves Big Night Out used to play the clubs in London before the TV show, there was a band. I've seen home video footage, but I don't know who that band were, whether they're the same ones who ended up on the early TV
I think
show.
they may have been, actually. Were they south? They were Deptford and all around there.
Yeah. On the credits on the TV, on the pilot episode, which was unbroadcast, it was Steve Maguire, Dave McLeod, Mark Narain, and Patrice Serapiglia, I believe. And then by series 1, Mark Narain was musical director, and Andy Metcalf had joined. And for New Year's Eve special onwards and into the tours, it was you three and Andy. Andy is musical director. Yeah. So he just thought he got the job before and just recruited his people he knew and trusted.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I hadn't met Sean and Kevin before that. Where I met
That's
Sean,
right. That's
beginning
right.
of a long
Yeah, I think I got you in, Kev. I'm pretty sure I got you in on that.
You did, Sean.
We've done so many TV shows, hadn't we? We've done so many TV sessions. We were ready to go, really. Yeah. The other reason I got you in is because you are possibly the most reliable person on the planet, unlike the rest of us. It was great to know that you would be always there, first in the rehearsal room, and that you would also know what you were doing, which was useful.
Thank you, Sean.
That's quite right, mate. That's fine.
Can be an unusual trait, can't it, in musicians?
Being reliable.
Certainly unusual.
Yeah, like other ethnic minorities, we're allowed to make jokes about ourselves, but nobody else is. Right? Bear that in mind.
I mean, I was completely I had no kind of, I just had to kind of do it all by rote. They were all kind of seasoned session men. Andy was a trained musician, and I was just sort of, I was basically blagging it,
thrown into the mix.
Which, for the most part, worked fine. There was occasional moments.
No, it was a miracle. I mean, really. Andy had scored all the parts out, which was really, really a bit scary for considering we had such little time to learn all the music for each show. I mean, it was.
That's what I was going to ask. Yeah, how much rehearsal time did you have before each show?
A day.
That day.
Oh my God!
I think we arrived. I think the shows were on Friday, so Andy would have a meeting on a Wednesday with the with the script crew and a run through with roughly something that was going to happen on Friday, and go through the script and add lots of little stings and bits of music and whatever and some songs, and then on Thursday we'd arrive at the rehearsal room. Kevin would be there first every single week. And we staggered through till Friday morning happened. So it was a bit of a helter skelter. It was, wasn't it, Morris? It was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and it was a place called John Henry Studios, which everybody's heard of probably in the business.
Yeah.
It took the whole. They had CNN on the TV, and I'd never experienced cable TV, but it coincided exactly with the first Gulf War.
That's right.
Yes.
So we were watching the Gulf War unfold at the same time as rehearsing for these programs. I just
comedy on
all the
both.
similarities.
Literally, it finished at the end of the series.
That's true, because I can remember I don't make you feel old. I was at school at the time, and I can remember talking about the big night out with my mates, and then going into this room where there was a TV, and they let us watch a TV to see what the latest goings on with the Gulf War. So yeah, it was exactly the same time, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was the same, and it was fairly surreal because we'd come off stage on a Friday evening and go into the green room, the dressing room, and there'd be a TV up there, and they all were bombing the hell out of each other just after our comedy show. It was
nothing changed, really.
No, yeah.
So, I mean, what memories do you have of meeting Jim and Bob for the first time?
Who wants to go first?
Let's have you in order. Let's have Morris, Sean, and Kevin.
To be absolutely honest, we didn't have that much contact with them.
Okay.
Set up, put our costumes on. We'd all been rehearsing, and it all, and then the show went on. The dress, all day was spent dress rehearsal. Then you do the live show at 7:30.
Yeah, but do you remember that it was Andy's fault that we all end up in jockey outfits? Yeah. Because Andy did the fatal thing. We'd just arrived in the TV studio for this run through, and Jim came out, and Andy said, "Oh look, Jim, is there anything you'd like us to wear? Anything special that you'd like to have the band on stage?" And Jim obviously hadn't given it one moment's thought, so immediately just said, "Yeah, they're all jockeys." Right, that's it. Great. And then the wardrobe people had to hurriedly get all our stuff together so that we could look completely stupid.
You still got the photo? I've still got the photo somewhere.
Yeah, I think I have somewhere. Yeah. In fact, I've got my hat somewhere. I definitely can.
That could have gone any number of ways, couldn't it? With that,
it could have been worse.
To dress up in.
Kevin's got the shirt there. Does it still fit, Kevin?
No comment.
Yeah.
So, of course it does.
Yeah. Sean was kind enough to send me to borrow a collection of the original Big Night Out scripts, for which there is one there from 1991.
I was trying to find them this morning. I've got them as well, all late in order and everything, but I can't.
Have you actually? Because I think the ones I sent Matt, there's a couple missing. God knows why, but there are. Oh well, they're good for the archives,
Well, it's fascinating because obviously you've made notes next to the musical.
Mine are covered in notes.
Items.
Yeah.
For example, let's look at a show 5 I've just picked up. So you've got the titles, the song, which is International Bright Young Thing, which was Jesus Jones, I believe, one of the hits of the day.
Yeah.
Man with a Stick, and you've written next to it Horrible Jazz.
Yeah.
It's one of his little songs.
Yeah, a lot of it was Horrible Jazz, the Living Carpets and all that. That was that lounge music, wasn't it?
That's right.
Yeah. Talc and Turnips, Banjo, Commercial Break, Stings, Lister and Dennis, as in Mr. Dennis, doing an EMF dance, Mr. Songwriter, and the end theme. Yeah.
It's unbelievable or something.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right.
They're banned from my part of the world.
Yes, and of course, many years later, they released a single with Vic and Bob, the version of I'm a Believer, which made the charts with EMF. Yeah. So did you have any favourite songs to perform?
Of course, before the actual series, there was the New Year's Eve special as well. That was the first we actually did.
I can't remember that at all.
That started off with Mistletoe and Wine.
Oh, right.
And, Kim Wilde was on that one.
There's the script.
I thought we got the script for that. Maybe I have got the. I thought maybe I didn't have the script for that one, but. Oh yeah, New Year's special. Yeah,
there it is. Yeah,
I've no. Good Lord.
May have even been an hour long or something. That one.
Yeah, it was an extended one. First one was celebrity guests, which I think was probably something they did later on when they did Shooting Stars, have more celebrity guests because it wasn't standard in the big night out. They played their own celebrity guests like David Bowie or Eric Morecambe or whoever.
I shall never forget Jim cuddling Kim Wilde.
Yeah. Well, Kim Wilde probably never forget it.
There was a guy from The Bill on as well.
Yeah, and the guy from Brookside.
Yeah, the one who said, "I got you banged to rights."
Yes. Yeah.
Jim was big fan of Free.
Yeah.
And so wasn't he? Do you remember we had to do A Little Bit of Love? I don't know if we did All Right Now, but we and Jim came on. This is on the warm up, I think, wasn't it? Was it the warm up of the show? He come on, we do a number before the show.
Yeah, that's right.
When it started.
Right.
Yeah, Jim would do his Paul Rodgers impersonation. So we had to learn all those ones. Sunshine of Your Love. Did we do that? I think so, we did. Cream. Yeah, big fan of those, the old rockers.
Yeah.
I think they were Bob's favourite band as well, weren't they? I think Free. I think they still are.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess you didn't really have a chance to get bored of the songs because I think it's quite famous. They didn't do a lot of rehearse that day, but as you say, didn't rehearse for days on end beforehand. And as Sean, you said it to me previously, it could all change on the night anyway. They decide to change everything. So you have to be on your guard.
Well, that's why we didn't see much of Vic and Bob, because they were huddled down in their dressing room, frantically rewriting and adding stuff the whole of Friday, you know, and well, probably Thursday as well, but definitely on the day of shooting. Yeah, I mean, the bulk of it stayed, from our point of view. I think it stayed pretty much as was from the rehearsal on Thursday, but there were always lots of changes. Yeah, so they were quite busy.
Yeah. So are you all comedy fans? Would you class yourselves as comedy fans?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody has one thing at least that they like, haven't they?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm not saying I haven't got more than one, but you know,
yeah,
who's not a comedy fan?
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, there are a few of these weird people out there. I don't know.
Yeah, true.
No, it was great to be involved in something that was so fresh, and you know, funnily enough, a lot of my friends thought it was rubbish because they thought it was so sort of surreal and dark.
It was very hit and miss. Yeah, I mean, I understand why people didn't get it.
Yeah. But I thought it was wonderful. And,
I mean, we were in stitches on stage. It was sometimes hard to
that's true.
Because you were laughing so much. It was just hysterical being there doing it.
Got to say, because unlike a lot of other shows, you didn't leave the stage. You were there for the whole show. So if you didn't like it, it was going to be a suffering, wouldn't it, for an hour or two? Yeah.
And also things used to go horribly wrong. There was one where there was something swinging down that's supposed to hit
the fox.
It was a giant diamond. It was a giant diamond with a puppy or a fox inside it. Yeah.
Right, and it kept missing and all that.
And I think there's a famous bit where
they would film bits and insert them into didn't they, in the live thing? I think that's how it worked.
Yeah.
Right.
I think there was supposed to be like a piece of
in the rehearsals, and it was just so fun.
Right, yeah. There's supposed to be a bit of balsa wood desk that Jim was supposed to pull off and hit Bob with, but he accidentally pulled off one of the genuine hard bits of wood off the desk and hit Bob with that and knocked him out cold, I think, briefly. You did 9 episodes, was it, with the New Year special, I guess?
Yeah. And then we did the live show in Newcastle.
Yeah.
Which was
great. Did you do the full tour, or was it just the video that was recorded, the VHS?
Yeah.
Newcastle.
Yeah.
Right.
2 nights, wasn't it, in Newcastle?
Oh, that's when they pulled out all the stops and got
Yeah, I
everything
think
on there because that was the video.
the video of that the beginning of the Newcastle show. I think that's one of the most rock and roll things I've ever seen. Meals on Wheels.
Meals on Wheels. That's right.
Yeah, it was great.
That's great.
But we also did an album, didn't we?
Yeah,
we certainly did. Yes, we did. Has anyone got a copy of it? I haven't.
Somewhere. Yeah.
The I Will Cure You album. Are you on?
Yeah, we're on 4 tracks, about half of it, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure you get listed in the credits. I was having a look the other day because Andy is listed as producer of some of the songs.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I can't remember what he called us in the credits. He gave us
just pseudonyms.
something band or
Yes.
I'd have to look at the CD.
We recorded that album at Pat Collier's studio, didn't we, Morris?
In Greenhouse, yeah.
In Greenhouse.
You died 2 days ago, in fact.
Yeah.
Dreadful. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, but yes, so just as we're recording this, folks. Yeah, unfortunately, Pat Collier produced Soft Boys and a lot of Robyn Hitchcock stuff and lots of other things. Unfortunately, has passed. Yeah. Oh, so it was his studio. You did I Will Cure You.
Yeah.
So that was 91.
I did one track at the Conk Studios.
That's right.
Empty Kennel Blues.
Yeah.
Is that Ray Davis?
The guy who plays guitar in the Jules Holland Orchestra. He's been there all the way through. I can't remember his name. Terrible, but yeah, that was a weird one.
So you did the songs that had previously been in the show, because there's a few of those on the album as well as covers.
I don't know whether it was in the show or not, but that was bad jazz.
Yeah,
whatever he called it.
yeah. And then he put the singles on there that we recorded, like with the Wonder stuff and the one with the Grid, I believe, on there as well, the dance track.
Yeah,
because the Wonder stuff are on the live show with you as well, aren't they, in Newcastle? They played nights of that.
Yeah, we were on the B side of the number one.
Yeah.
It's the hairdresser.
That's right.
The hairdresser.
I've been on a number one record. The only
Wow. Didn't make Top of the Pops with that one,
but
never mind.
It's great. I'll add that to my collection of weird number ones. I didn't know that. Was it? We were on the B side. Were we on that? Blimey.
Didn't know that. Yeah.
The only time I've been on a number one record, I was playing the banjo, which is classic, isn't it? You know, you wait your whole life to be number one, and I was playing banjo on the Steps record.
Yeah.
I don't like to talk about it. But...
Was that 5, 6, 7, 8, Sean?
Hey?
I believe it was that 5, 6, 7, 8. The tune.
It
the first song.
Was.
Yeah.
A very banjo heavy track.
Yeah.
The hard
Yeah. Oh dear.
At least that's not what you're known. You're going to be remembered for, Sean.
Thankfully not. No.
Oh my goodness.
People love it. People love it.
Yeah.
It was big. Yeah. Not my cup of tea, but
it's what it is.
Yeah.
It's all right. It goes with the daft. You know, it's all comedy, isn't it? I mean,
exactly.
Yes.
Vic and Bob about the same.
Yeah. Going back to those live shows in Newcastle, we've talked to a few of the performers who were on there. Was Simon Day and Fred Aylward, who played Les. Dorian Crook was on there as well, and they've said that tour and those shows were very. I mean, there's a time when comedy was the new rock and roll. Apparently, they were the darlings of the NME, Vic and Bob, and
that's right.
Girls and people dressed up in costume and things turn up to watch it.
Yeah, Badil and what was it?
Badil and Skinner.
Badil
and Newman and Badil.
Badil and Newman, yeah.
Well, it was, and Newcastle was a fantastic couple of nights because it was home ground, so you know, absolutely packed, and everybody knew everything. Right. All the audience were there for them. There was no worry about them not getting it. You know, it was really good, and it was total rock and roll. It was great.
Friends and family.
Yeah, pretty much.
A bunch of stuff were there as well.
Did you mix a lot with the Vic and Bob and the other performers, the comedy performers on the show, or were you do you keep yourselves to yourselves when you weren't on stage or at the shows or live?
Pretty much, didn't we? We were pretty much on our
own. No kind of interaction really.
I got on well with Paul Whitehouse because he was sort of unofficial script editor on the shows, so he'd sit in, and he's a very keen amateur guitarist, and so we got quite well. You know, we talk guitars a lot, and of course we subsequently got to know each other, Kevin and I, from doing the Fast show later on, and the Harry Enfield stuff as well. So that was nice to meet Paul there. And he lived in Islington or Hackney or somewhere, didn't he? Next to Andy was living in Hackney.
Don't you?
So he and Paul would always go for a lunchtime drink on a Sunday, and we used to meet up occasionally there. But on Showtime, no, we were no, as usual, we were musicians, weren't we? Would you mind coming in through the kitchen? We would just, it'd be nice if you could do that.
He hasn't taken you fishing yet, Sean.
And hopefully that'll never happen. The fishing thing is, well, never mind. No.
Each their own, exactly.
Yeah. I know, Sean and Kevin, you've done a lot of comedy shows since Vic and Bob, as you say.
You mentioned Simon Day. I remember doing something in, I think it was 2017, the Brian Pern special.
Oh, yes.
That was really good. We enjoyed that because we also did a live show at the Lyric Theatre in Shaftesbury Avenue, which was fantastic. I don't think it's ever been broadcast. It was just a bit of fun with Mark King as a guest. Yeah. I've done both of Steve Coogan's live tours and his I'm Alan, the Know Me Knowing With You with Alan Partridge as part of the Glen Ponder and Chalet, as we were called, and Harry Hill's TV show on Channel 4.
Amazing.
Yeah, mad, isn't it?
Well,
I mean, it's 33 years. It's incredible.
It is. That's why it's quite hard, because it's got, in your memory, it's sort of like little vignettes of things, I remember.
I'm amazed you two can remember it.
Well, please.
I can't.
One thing I do remember is that.
Are we all 70 now? How old are you, Kevin?
Shut up, Morris. You do age at this point in the proceedings.
I was 70 last month, so.
I'm 67.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yeah, all right. Well,
this has taken a very dark turn.
Anyway, moving swiftly on. I do remember. One thing I do remember is the fact that for some reason the only amp I had, because Peter Orton, the director, was very keen that it should be quite loud, and the whole thing should be loud, which is unusual for TV directors. They normally want everything sort of very pocketed and controllable. But Peter wanted the guitar loud. So the only amp I had that would provide that was an AC30, the Vox AC30. And it wasn't an ordinary Vox AC30. It had a huge top and a cabinet that was separate. And this thing weighed a ton. And so every day I had to load this thing up and drag it out, Luckily, John Henry's had a lift, I think, but I think it did. But that was a real millstone. It's the sort of thing these days, you'd never have that sort of problem. You'd have some compact little, Bluetooth version of an amp, something. But it was fairly hands-on. It was, loud. It was good.
I don't think nowadays you see, when you watch it like an Anton Deck or Jonathan Ross's show, you don't see a band on the side of the stage like you would have done in the days of Parkinson.
That's right.
There was always a house band who were there, and obviously Vic and Bob were doing their own version of that, their own version of a variety show. So they're jockeys, stage right. But you don't see that on anymore. Because a lot of it's pre-recorded. Strictly is probably the only one who has their own live band. Strictly Come Dancing.
That's right. Yeah, no, the Strictly band is they're brilliant. They're brilliant. I know quite a few of those guys, and Dave Arch and John Parrish,
Barry,
guitarist. Who?
Trevor Barry.
Yeah. They're great players, really great players, and they've got a hard job. I mean, they really have to play very well every single week. But you're right. No, there's not many live bands. I think in TV terms, it's a bit of a logistical problem. You know, we've got all these people with all the gear who do nothing except play music, so that it's difficult. It becomes expensive. You know, I think
still very much a thing in the States, isn't it? All the chat shows have a live band.
Yeah.
Expected.
Yeah. And in the States, the host will interact with at least the band leader, and he'll be part of the show. I think any times you were ever referenced by Vic or Bob is when they were dressed as the Stots, and they tell you to stop starting and stop stopping.
Stop starting, yeah.
One of the hardest things I found in play was like when you had a 10-second burst of something. I remember there was a 10-second burst of Betty Davis eyes for something.
Oh, yes, that's right.
10-15 seconds, and it was really hard to just start playing and then stop it. I don't know. I just remember that. Really, really
that's true.
Yeah, it's not a problem. You know, you get into the groove and everything.
The hardest thing I remember having to work out was the theme tune for Vision On.
Oh my God.
Da, 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 da. I mean, Andy was brilliant. He had it down, but there was still this I think nice jazz, going on. And it was quite a challenge because there were so many different styles because they just, pick things at random. Yeah, I've got some of the scores. I meant to tell them. I meant to send them to you, Matt, and then I didn't. I don't know why. They were somewhere else, but they were. I thought they were, probably just of interest to me, probably, or another musician. But yeah, it was. Andy had done a great job, and I'm sorry he's not here today. I haven't seen him in years now. Yeah. Morris, where's he gone?
He's in Devon.
Oh yeah. Okay.
He was in Exeter. He's moved out of Exeter now.
Yeah, they haven't got internet down there yet.
No phone signal. There's nothing down there.
Still paper cups with bits of string.
We used to do a warm-up song before, sort of an overture every time. And there's a collection of they're really good, like instrumental versions of "I Got You, Babe" and stuff like that.
Oh yes.
And he's got all those on DAT still, I think. I've got a cassette.
You got them?
I've got a cassette.
Yeah, I probably have a cassette somewhere.
Still play on my old CDs. You can still play cassettes.
Yeah.
Happy days.
Still fun.
So, what are you all working on nowadays? You still out playing?
Yeah. I write music for library companies, production companies, and so you hear bits of my guitar on. Well, no, actually, you might hear it on Gone Fishing. Actually,
I often hear things on telly, on BBC Two and stuff, and there's this beautiful bit of guitar in the background.
Yeah. I always hope people. I always hope people think it's me. Yeah. Might be. So that sort of thing. That's mostly what I do. And Kevin and I have been playing the last few years in a band, and since the traitor decided to move to Norfolk, which makes things a bit difficult as I'm in Kent. But we've been playing together in a band, and it's been good fun. Been really good fun. We've been playing.
Brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, really good. But alas, that's what I've been doing. Morris, what are you up to?
I'm still playing with Robyn, and playing with him next week, and we're doing a tour in September, a small one. But I was playing with Kimberly Rue and his wife Lee in a separate thing, and then we join up with Robyn as kind of the new Soft Boys.
Yeah, okay.
Girl.
Yeah,
nice. We got a lot of stuff coming up over the summer.
Morris, Sean, Kevin, thank you so much for joining us. It's been quite a boast. That's fantastic. You can go back and dig out your jockey uniforms for the rest of the day.
We need a reunion in physical form.
Well,
that would be something. Yes, that would be something.
Yeah.
Oh, a pleasure. Great. Thanks for testing our memories. I mean, that's
I think we should try and persuade Jim to do when they do one of these albums in full live on stage to do "I Will Cure You" in full and get you guys in the jockey silks.
Kevin in his original outfit.
Yeah.
We could be house band for one of his lovely painting programs.
Yes.
That'd be good.
Summer of 75. Next year it'll be the 50th anniversary of the summer.
Yeah.
The only song ever to have Frampton Comes Alive.
Oh, God.
So
some
much,
incredible
guys.
lyrics.
No, amazing to meet you all.
Thank you all for listening to this edition of Quite a Boast. Special thanks to Matt Lucas for permission to use the Peanuts music as our theme tune, and thanks to Ed Lewis for this edit. Thank you to Jake Chesham for permission to use the photo from his 1995 shoot of Jim and Bob in our various online locations for the podcast. And of course, thank you very much to Jim Moyer and Bob Mortimer, without whom this podcast, well, it just wouldn't exist, would it? Remember to check out Paula's Divine Comedians podcast as well, and to join the Reeves Mortimer Depository of Curious Stuff Facebook group. And I think you'll agree that really was a lot of fun. Goodbye.